What's going on, everyone? So Mo Bamba is a name to keep an eye on for the Chicago Bulls. Bamba wants to play for the Bulls. Now, Mo Bamba is a player that we know that the Lakers are actively trying to shop. Him and Malik Beasley are both two guys, as well as whatever they can package together to go maybe potentially pull off some trade to upgrade the roster. Mo Bamba is a player that I think has a lot of potential. He's still very young. He's 25, but he's very raw, right? He is an ideal setter. Huge, giant, ridiculous, almost fairy tale make-believe wingspan, can block shots and shoots 40% from three. But he's not very disciplined on the defensive end. He's a better help defender than an individual defender. And injury history is becoming a problem. I mean, he was injured the entire time for the Lakers, and that became a real issue. He's set to make $10 million a year, and there's almost more value in trading him than there is keeping him around, especially at that price. Now, of course, the Lakers could waive him and then maybe sign him to a new deal, maybe 2 years, $10 million, as opposed to 1 year, $10 million, like he's about to make. Personally, I think the Lakers should package him and try to look at a potential upgrade, whatever that upgrade may be. I think, especially now that Colin Castleton, I am personally very high on him. We'll see how right I am, but I really think he's a guy that very likely could make the roster. I really do. I think he's a guy that has all of the intangibles: athleticism, lob threat, can pass the ball, can block shots, can run the floor. Like, he can do a lot of the things that the Lakers really need, and a lot of the things that the Lakers like to do, especially the fast pace, right? Mo Bamba, I think he can do some of those things too, but again, he's just very raw. So I think if you could take him and flip him into an upgrade or two and get some quality rotation pieces or maybe some starting level pieces, rather than keeping him around and then bring in Castleton and let him kind of be your development big, go get a veteran big. I'd rather go that route personally. I think if you could bring in some type of veteran to bring in and then have Castleton kind of just play sparing minutes here as you kind of work on him and develop him. And then that way you have Anthony Davis that can play the five. You got the veteran big that can bang, and allow AD to play the four at times and be the backup, and then Castleton kind of being the in-between guy, right? When AD sits out, he can get kind of heavy minutes, and that'll help for his development. But when he's not, when AD's playing, he's getting, sparing minutes, 15 minutes a game, 10 minutes a game, something along those lines, right? And Mo Bamba to Chicago could make a lot of sense. I mean, he worked out for Chicago at some point. Chicago was interested. There were even talks about Chicago potentially trying to acquire him from the Orlando Magic at some point. So if the Lakers have and can work something out with Chicago, I'm all for it. Personally, I would lean towards trying to get like Alex Caruso and Andre Drummond. That could be something that's very interesting, right? Bringing back Caruso, which I know is a fan favorite for many Laker players. I just think he kind of fits a need, kind of a point of attack guard. Him and Austin Reeves, I think, would be great. Alex Caruso probably comes off the bench, and you kind of have like that. You always have that high IQ type player, defensive two-way type guy on the court at all times between Reeves and Caruso, and you could play both of them, and LeBron loves to play with both of them. So I think that they're both guys that can help now really improve on your defense. Alex Caruso had a rough start last year. Wasn't very good last year, but he really did kind of pick it up in the later half of the year. He's a guy that is very familiar with the Lakers and I think could make a lot of sense. And then Andre Drummond, he's a guy that, again, played with the Lakers, played with Caruso on the Lakers, plays with Caruso in Chicago, solid veteran big. And I know some people don't want the retreads. I know some people don't want, they want somebody else. Now, obviously, like a Brook Lopez or something like that would be ideal. But let's be honest, right? One, we don't really have money to pay guys like that. Two, how much is he really going to play with Anthony Davis, right? Anthony Davis is still probably our best bet at the five at times. Where if you get a guy like Andre Drummond, got to keep in mind, I know a lot of people don't want retreads, but they said the same thing about Dwight Howard, and Dwight Howard was a huge contributor to us winning an NBA championship. Andre Drummond is also in a completely different place in his career than when we got him last, right? Last time we had Andre Drummond, he wasn't a backup big. He was 2010 with 3 blocks, like defensive player of the year type Andre Drummond, who thought he was the guy, who thought he was the number one dude, who, had to start, the only reason he came to Lakers is because the Lakers promised him to start. All of that, and we only had like a very limited amount of time to figure out how to make it work with him, right? It's a completely different scenario now. You have Andre Drummond, who has accepted that backup role, who has accepted that hustle role, who is willing to come in and provide that relief. He could start if we need him to, but some nights you don't. And I don't think he would care. He was very good for Chicago this year. In many cases, he was better than Vu was for Chicago, right? So him coming in for the Lakers, again, it's a cheap big, which is what you need, right? We need somebody that is going to be inexpensive, that the Lakers can get, that can plug the center spot, whether it's in a backup role or a starting role. He does that. It makes our defense better. I think it really kind of plugs into holes. So now we can address other things and other needs. It probably won't cost much. Mo Bamba and like 2 second-round picks. You probably have to add in like a Shaquille Harrison, but I don't think that'll matter, right? Even though you technically don't, if I'm not mistaken off the top of my head, with the 125% rule, I think you could do the 2-for-1 swap. But even if you have to add in Harrison, right? You do Harrison and Mo Bamba and 2 seconds or 3 second-round picks. You get Alex Caruso and you get Andre Drummond. I think that's a really good, solid trade. Again, the Lakers don't necessarily need the home run trade. They just need some guys that can come in and kind of provide upgrades for the Lakers. And I think these 2 guys give you more production than what Mo Bamba would give you. I think Andre Drummond would help more now with this Lakers roster than what Mo Bamba gives you. Yes, Andre Drummond doesn't provide the floor spacing, but again, how reliable is Mo Bamba going to be as a floor spacer? And we don't need that. We need rebounding. We need shot blocking. We need a lob threat. We need a guy that can bang, that wants to play the center position. Andre Drummond fills all those needs. Alex Caruso, it's very likely we lose Dennis Schroeder. Alex Caruso could be a great replacement for that. We're very likely to lose Dennis Schroeder because we can't really pay him, right? So you lose Dennis Schroeder and you replace him with Alex Caruso. I can get on board with that. Alex Caruso, 6'5", point of attack guy, can play some defense. You play him and Reeves together. I would rather go that route. So I like the idea of this. Of course, the other option would be using him and Malik Beasley and maybe the 2029 first or something like that, and going and getting DeMar DeRozan. Now, the Chicago Bulls are actively shopping Zach LaVine. There was a report that recently came out that said LaVine isn't interested in going to the New York Knicks, which I think is interesting. But look, there are plenty of teams that would probably trade for Zach LaVine. So if they trade Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan is probably next on that list. They're probably going to trade DeMar DeRozan because I don't see them trading Zach LaVine and then keeping DeMar. I think they trade Zach LaVine and they begin the kind of rebuild and blow up, right? And Lonzo Ball, Chicago already came out and said that the Lonzo Ball is very likely going to be off the out for the whole year, that they don't expect him to come back this year. So again, Chicago is likely rebuilding. They would get a young guy in Mo Bamba that can be a center, that they can grow and develop and kind of just start hitting that reset button. And there you go, right? Move off of LaVine, move off of DeMar DeRozan. Even if they don't trade Zach LaVine, I wouldn't be shocked if they trade DeMar DeRozan. So, if Chicago really wants Mo Bamba and is interested in Mo Bamba, can you do Mo Bamba, Malik Beasley, and like I said, the 2029 first, something like that, and go get a DeMar DeRozan? I wouldn't mind that. Now, I added this to the back end of the video because, this I think is less likely than a Alex Caruso and Andre Drummond. But DeMar DeRozan also is, if he becomes available, he's probably the one like star that I think the Lakers could realistically get. And so you could bring him in. I think he's an upgrade um, over Malik Beasley and Mo Bamba. Maybe you could even get Andre Drummond. You could even technically get all three if you really wanted to. You'd have to do a little kind of tweaking. It could make things a little difficult. You might have to even include D'Lo, but I wouldn't hate it. Like if you could turn, like let's say you turn D'Lo, Beasley, and Mo Bamba into DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, and Andre Drummond. I think that that's an upgrade. I mean, DeMar's better than D'Lo, and I think Drummond is better than Mo Bamba, and I think Caruso, he's a completely different player than what Beasley is, but I think Caruso kind of helps alleviate very likely the loss of Dennis Schroeder, as well as kind of just gives us some more size and switchability and defense and stuff like that. So I don't know. I thought this was interesting. Wanted to talk about it. What are your thoughts and opinions? As always, I pass the question on you. Let me know down in the comments below. Would you be game to trade Mo Bamba to Chicago? If so, what do you want? Would you want like an Alex Caruso, Andre Drummond, or would you want to go DeMar DeRozan? Would you want to try to get all three, or maybe two of the three? Like I said, maybe DeMar and Caruso, or DeMar and Andre Drummond. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below.